enough. It doesn't matter what our income are. That are here. Thank you, Coach Francis. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Keith Otto. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ivan Earl. And please don't ever stop coming and showing up, because to me, you keep always showing me the future, selling the dream, and we need you more than ever. So thank you so much. So I was thinking as I was backstage, exactly today, 10 years ago, my license got appointed. So I started this business 10 years ago today, and I was like a normal person, we could call that. I just didn't really have much hopes and dreams. I was a nurse, and I just remember exactly December of 2015, I was the nurse of the year, and I got a pen, that's a nurse of the year. And I was so frustrated. And I remember at that time, Miguel had already talked to me about the opportunity, and I had said, no, I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to sell anything. It's not for me. And I could see him like putting in posts of, like he won the MVP and he'll get a trophy this big, and I was saving lives and I had a pen. And that was the reason, the only reason why I called, on December 16th, and I said, you remember what you showed me that day? Like, I think I want more than just a pen. Can you just recruit me? But through that trophy, through that MVP that he showed me, he was able to show me dreams and vision and a future that I wasn't able to see on the regular world that I was. And so that's where I started the Primerica opportunity. And I feel success in our business, and especially with the big businesses, the people that are doing big things, is that we're good at promoting people. It's people that promote people, like the company saying leaders that build leaders. That has always been my game plan. And even today, even though I'm the 34 at 2MD, it still continues to be my game plan. And that's what I want to talk to you guys today about, promoting people who promote people. Because I believe it's the only system that kind of allows us to really make it big in Primerica and have that light that they all have talked to about today and that they're selling. So some might say, well, this is a meeting for the big leaders and people. Well, yes and no, because we're never big enough. It doesn't matter what our income are. We are all here above 250,000, but I believe it still remains the same way, the same basics, and we all have to go and do it if we want to keep growing. And that's the only way I know how to grow. So I'm going to talk about what have I done in the last 10 years to have a business that constantly promotes new leaders. I feel we first have to learn how to duplicate behaviors and not information. I don't think people need more training. It's important, yes, the products and everything, but I think it's more important that people are going to copy what I say, not what I say, what I do. And I think that's what's happening sometimes in our business. I can keep talking about when I got the Virginia Carter Award, which was great, and I'm proud of myself, but that's part of the history, right? People didn't see me in that run of the Virginia Carter Award or in the RVP run, and people need to see, again, how do I do it? So behavior scales, information does it. If we keep bombarding our team with what do we do exactly, and more training is about the product or the system they can learn, right? The second thing is a simple system will always be bigger than any brilliant leader. And I can never take credit for what I've done for the last 10 years. I can only say that it's been the Primerica system, right? Like, I don't think anyone is big enough to be better than the Primerica system, or the system that we have able to build in the Naranjo hierarchy. And the only reason why we have the success is because our success doesn't depend on a brilliant leader. Because if it was because of me, I probably wouldn't be where we are today. Yes, I've been a disciplined person through years, obviously. Yes, I've been a visionary, I've been a hard worker, but without the system, we can't grow. So you don't have to be the more talented, you don't have to be the one with the most charisma. You just have to have a system in place, which Primerica already has them. We don't have to invent anything. We just heard Bobby talk about everything, about the licensing system. I mean, anything that we need is already here. So just implement those systems in your business and just keep showing how to follow the systems, and that will help you. Now, this was me trying to teach my daughter to ride a bike. And it's a funny video, but I couldn't put the video in the presentation. But when I was trying to figure out how to teach her how to do it, I read a bunch of stuff, right? Because that's usually like a men thing, you know, like usually it's like the guy that takes out the kids too, but no men. So I was like, okay, well, I got to figure it out, right? So I started reading all the stuff, and he tells you so much theory about how to do it. So I tried it all, you know, first like you put the thing around the waist and you run with them. Like I tried it all the ways. And what I realized is whenever I just like trained her in action, like I just grabbed her and just let her go, it worked perfectly. It was a lot easier. I had a backache for days initially to do this. That day was easy, and I think that's exactly how our business works. Are we scared they're gonna fall? Yes. Are we scared they're gonna hurt themselves? Yes. I mean, I thought she could break her leg, this, that, and at the end, nothing happened. She did great. It was easy. So action first and then theory. That's how our business.
All right. With 802, we're about to start our training. Let's keep inviting our teammates, guys. Let's make sure we get them. In the meantime, we're gonna be listening to Diana Macias, who is a superstar, man, in the business, $2 million earner. Let's check out what she has to say while you invite people.
Myself, as soon as I started, I sat down with Willie and Lorraine. I said, please do an FNA for me. I need to learn. Not even learn. I needed to fix my own finances. But all the tools are great. But if I would have sat down the first day with Miguel and all he would have done was teach me theory, I would have been the first one out the door. Because I would have felt that I would have not been capable of doing it. But when he said, just, you know, go ahead, send this message and go on and do appointments, I felt it was easy. So action first and then theory. And last on these areas, duplicate rhythm and not results. I had a really bad ratio, you know. Miguel had it worse because my first 17 training appointments, they were all no's. They all told him no. So his ratio was really bad. You know, like imagine someone new, you set up 17 appointments and everyone says no, right? So his ratio was bad. But what inspired me was that it was easy to duplicate the rhythm. He didn't put much weight on, oh, you're gonna need to get yeses or no. He just was like, another appointment, and they will say, oh no. And he was like, that's great, that's awesome, let's keep going. Like, what kind of business is this where like, we go and people say no? But he said, that's the business, and that's so. And I said, okay, I can do that. And what I learned to duplicate was rhythm, not results. And if we do that with our team, they're gonna lose that pressure of having to be so good and having to get the same results. We have all kinds of people in our team. We have people that are great at the sales and they're able to close every app. There are people, it doesn't matter. All I want is a lot of people in front of people. That's all, right? So, you know, let's go for that. Now, teams don't duplicate at the speed of recruiting. And I know recruiting is key. Like, I know it starts from there, but they duplicate at the speed of licensing. If you really want to build a team, if we want to build big teams, we need to focus on licensing.
Okay, we got 19 people almost ready.
If we recruit the masses and we're not good on licensing, we won't be able to grow the way we want to grow. This has been the last 10 years of our business, of my business. And if those are how many? 9 RVPs we are now. Right, there are 9 RVPs in there. And if we look at that chart, it has never been my focus to promote RVPs. My focus has been to grow licenses. Because when we grow licenses, all of a sudden there's leaders. So we think we need to build leaders. We need to, right? And at the end, like the leaders will come up if they're in the right environment. And this is the right environment. Even if you're not such a great person, if they plug into PFN and they come to, they're gonna grow. But the only way we can get RVPs and duplicate ourselves is by having more licenses. And so as the more licenses that grow, the more RVPs we have. So I'm not worried about how many more RVPs I'm going to get this year. I'm worried about how many more licenses can I grow this year so there can be more RVPs. All right? So why? Why licensing? Why? Because licensing will be motivation. I mean, we had talked at the hierarchy, and Miguel, we just said 3 months ago, we're going to go out and we're going to do it big, and I had done a challenge with Mika and stuff like that. Boom, there goes the leg. I can't drive, I can't, right? And I don't do Zooms, I do everything. And so hey, there goes me, there went Miguel.
All right, we're gonna continue this because she's doing really good, and after this we're gonna start our training. So pay close attention to what you can learn from $1 million earner.
People licenses, someone else is gonna go out and do it. It's gonna be hype. You can be the greatest. You can be the greatest speakers. Which, by the way, we don't bring any speakers to our hierarchy that is not a Primerica leader, because I feel like here are the great leaders and the people that can teach our people. But you can bring whoever you want. If you don't have licensed agents, especially new life licensed agents, well, nothing will happen in your team. You'll have a bunch of people motivated for a day or two, and then nothing else will happen. And licensing will be talent, because I gotta tell you, I think I'm pretty smart. I do, I really do. I do. I think I'm pretty smart. I think I'm pretty disciplined, but I don't think I'm that talented sometimes. Sometimes I hear some of the leaders that speak. Sometimes I hear when people close, when, you know, and I say, whoa, Mike Evans was talking about, oh my God, those questions, the closing questions. I was taking notes on the closing questions. Like, you know, some people are really talented, but because we have large licensing, we always beat the numbers, right? And when licensing becomes the focus, duplication will be natural, growth will become predictable, and leadership will become scalable. You will keep growing without you knowing. So this is pretty much what my organization looks like today. We have 1,621 licenses, and this is how they're divided, right? Like the RVPs that have their licenses in their base shops. This is for them. They want to grow. You want to grow income, RVPs? You got to grow licenses. You gotta grow licenses in a short period of time. That's the key, licenses in a short period of time. So as I now try to close, and I wanna talk about the last finish with the thing that inspired me, besides obviously my mom, my daughter, and the life that I have been able to build in the last 10 years, it's really the unity that we have in our hierarchy. So to the millionaire philosophy, you know, please never stop. Keep pushing, because you guys keep pulling me. You keep being an example, and I really appreciate what we have. And without you, I know I wouldn't be where I am. To my team, to my RVPs, then I'll never stop. I will keep pushing, I will keep pulling you, and I will keep inspiring you. And to the entire Primerica team, my Primerica team, because this is my Primerica team, let's never stop. Let's keep pushing, and let's keep inspiring people. Thank you so much.
All right, that was awesome. Diana Macias, guys, right there. She is an incredible leader in the company, and it's always good to hear from leaders like her. She makes over $2 million a year in Primerica, and people have learned a lot from her, and there's a lot to learn from a lot of Primerica leaders. Make sure you're plugged into that. Make sure you're understanding the system and getting better and better at the system, because this business, guys, the reason we're so adamant, we're so aggressive is not it's not just because we want to make a lot more money than we're making right now. It's because it could change people's lives, it could change people's family trees. It has done that for us, and it will do that for you. Just to remind you, man, this used to be me. I don't know if you can see this, okay? Here's a picture of me when I was already a power, as you can see, I already have the power builder ring right there. I'm here with Mike Pyatt, has always come to our office to coach us and guide us. But man, guys, I've been around for a long time here, like here's a picture of me when I started Primerica. This was my first big event. And as you can see down there's Michael Pyatt down there. Look at the difference, right? Back then, I think he was like 50 years old. I don't know. Now he's, I don't know, close to 70 or something. I don't even know, but he's been with me, coaching me, guiding me throughout all these years. Even right now, if I call him, he'll probably answer, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that, because if it wasn't for him guiding me and coaching me along the way, I wouldn't be where I'm at, for sure. Like, no doubt about it. And he's helped not just me, he's helped a lot of our RVPs. I'm sure he's helped a lot of people that I don't even know that he has helped. If you give him a call, he's willing to spend time with you. He's willing to, He doesn't just spend time with anybody, but he will spend time with you, if, not to waste time, not to talk about dumb things. No, it's about, look, how can I help you? The skill that I have is to help you build a business. And he has poured that into me for throughout the years, that now me and my wife are able to do that, and a lot of our RVPs are able to do that, to help back, and in a way, give back. It's not like we took something to give back. We're just giving, not giving back. We're just giving. And why? Because it was given to us. It was given to us. If it wasn't for Michael Pyatt, I wouldn't be here. And it hasn't been easy. No, look at all these people that I recruited in the beginning of my business. All of them are gone. This guy quit over here on the left side, quit right here, quit right here, quit right here, quit. These are my uplines, original uplines. You can see right here, this is Alfredo. They have the green jacket, which was the jersey back then. They were studs. They would win company trips all the time. This is the girl right here that recruited me from JC Penney's. I don't know if you know, but I used to work oops, where'd it go? Right there. Look at her. Look at her right there. This girl right here. She was my manager at JC Penney's. She's the one that when I started working at JC Penney, she was my manager, and she was already in Primerica, but she was too shy to tell me of that. But when she quit, she fired me, by the way. She fired me from JC Penney's because she wanted me to work, and she wanted me to work on Christmas Day, and I said, "No, I don't need this job. I'm actually driving already to Coachella." And she goes, "Well, if you don't come back and take and work, we're gonna have to fire you." And I'm like, "Oh man, you know what? This is the first you're gonna mess with my perfect, you know, resume. You're gonna mess with my resume, girl. I've never been fired ever from a job." And isn't it stupid, by the way, side note, if you have a resume, that's like the most ridiculous thing in the world. When somebody once said that, I'm like, what are you talking about, man? My resume is everything. It's like, is gold. I need to give it to somebody to hire me and give me a job. What do you mean it's dumb? It is dumb because you could really put whatever you want, and people don't verify that you actually work there. You could even put you have a bachelor's degree, and people don't even verify. But anyways, that's a whole different topic that happens in the politics, in corporate America. That's why building a business is it, because you show the real you, the real deal. You really get exposed in business, and a lot of people don't like that. That's why most people are broke. They want to live that fantasy life. Um, so that's what got me to build a business, by the way. So she fired me right here, Jeanette Martinez. She fired me, and guess what, guys? She quit JC Penney's a few months later because she had to work Christmas Day. And she's like, "Man, I've had enough of this." So she quit her job at JC Penney's. And then she called me a few months later and said, "Raul, I want to introduce you to this company that I think you'd be really good. You're a person of integrity and character, and I think you would be really good at this. So, will you come and check it out?" And I should have said no because she fired me, right? She messed up my perfect, clean, squeaky clean, resume. But I said yes. And guys, be open-minded. Be open-minded, because I could have easily said no if I was closed-minded or negative. If I had not a good attitude. I've always had a positive attitude. I've always been optimistic pretty much all my life. I'm very optimistic with things. When things are not going good, I always, for whatever reason, I have hope that it's gonna work. I have hope, and I get inspired easily. I get brainwashed easily. I get like people pump me up right away. I'm easily to motivate. I'm very easy to get motivated and get inspired. I'm very easy to like something. If I like something, I'm like all in. I want to do it. I'm obsessed. I'm possessed with it. And I think that's a very great trait that you guys should all adopt. If you're not like that, whenever negativity comes into your mind, you have to say, you know what, this is the losing mindset. I gotta get the winning mindset. The winning mindset is a positive mental attitude, PMA, positive mental outlook, PMO. And you have to have a positive mental attitude and positive mental outlook of life. Positive that it's gonna work out. You have to be very optimistic. Those are keys to success. This is the mindset. The mindset of winning is what it takes. And that kid right there, that skinny kid right there who was a teacher, that's the kid that got it done, guys. That's the kid that believed, even though nothing was working, even though, I was just trying, I was just learning. Here's my first district leader, Alex, my brother, right here is my second district leader. These were my guests for that event, my new recruits. And Alfredo and Jeanette helped me and guided me throughout the process. I'm grateful for them. They quit, but I'm grateful for them because they guided me throughout the early parts of my career. So who am I to not give that time and energy? And who is my wife and I not um that person that will not do that for you guys? Of course we're gonna do that, and that's why we do these trainings, okay? So um so one thing that I want to go over is right here, the recruiting mindset, okay? Because in order for you to get to where we are, you need to have that recruiting mindset. And today I'm going to talk about in the awesome book of Magic of Compound Recruiting, we're going to talk about the magic of tap rooting. A recruit isn't a recruit until it has a recruit, okay? Write that down. Write that down somewhere in your notes, okay? This is not a just a podcast, okay, where you just listen. This is a classroom, okay? First of all, this is what this let's set the tone here of this training. Every Monday night training is about learning. It's not a podcast. It's not me preaching. It's not a lesson. It's guys. It's a classroom. So I need you to take notes, okay? So write this down. Recruiting isn't a recruit. A recruit isn't a recruit until he has a recruit. A new person really isn't anchored into the business until he or she, number one, becomes trained and licensed. Okay. So anchored, what does anchored mean? That means that they're locked in. Um, they know what they're doing. So that's one. These are the three requirements. They have to be trained and licensed. So if you're new in the business, guys, and if you want to be anchored in this business, you have to go out and get trained and get licensed. You have to go book appointments with people that you know. You got to book appointments with friends and family. You got to go out and visit people. You gotta, like me, for example, when I started, my first appointment that I booked was with my parents, my mom and my dad. And I started once I finished that appointment, I saw the big picture and I realized, oh my God, this is awesome. Everybody should hear about this because I heard about the magic of compound interest and life insurance, the evils of cash value versus term. And I wanted all my friends and family to hear about it. So I started visiting my parents, my aunts and uncles, and they all became clients. Some of them didn't. And I became trained and then I got my license. Okay. Because that was the next step, right? I was kind of like done booking appointments for my trainer. I had booked everybody. And then my trainer said, all right, it's time for you to get your license. I passed my test. It took me 3 months to get my license. Why did it take me so long? Because I had a unpaid speeding ticket that turned into a misdemeanor. So when I passed my test, I didn't get my license issued like until 3, 4 months later. Why? Because I needed to fix my fix-it ticket and have a clean record so that I could get my license issued by the Department of Insurance. And that's how I started Primerica. Crazy, right? So that's that's what you need to do. You need to become licensed and you need to become trained. Okay. So if you haven't booked 10 appointments in this business, if you're not licensed, you need to go on at least 10 training appointments minimum. But the goal is 20 because 10 appointments is still not enough. Okay. 10 appointments will get you your district promotion if you sit down with the right market. Okay. If you sit down with the right market, you will get your district promotion for sure. Okay. So what is the right market? Okay. Here's a image of the right market. Okay. The right market is you have to sit down with people that are macho. We call them macho, right? M is for married. Married, that means, either they're couples or they're really, really married, right? They have a ring and everything. Age group. These are people that are between the ages of 25 to 45 years old. So write that down, okay? You got to be taking notes, guys. Don't just be listening to me. Don't be listening. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna test you at the end. I'm gonna just call random people in this chat. Let's see. We got Alma Hernandez, we got Beverly, we got Corrales, we got Denise Munoz, Irma Mesa, Johnny Avila. I know Johnny's gonna know the answer. Larry Miles. Ooh, I think I'm gonna pick on Larry Miles. All right, so just be taking notes, okay, Rocio? Uh, P Money team, Vidal, take notes, okay? Because this is super, super important, okay? The right market, married. Married are people that are, these are people that are either married preferably, okay, or have or are couples living together. You know, there's people that don't get married, or they just live together, and that's fine, okay? As long as engaged, not living together, no, okay, they gotta be living together, okay? Engaged living together, couples living together, not married or engaged, or married couples, okay? That's number one. Number two is age group. This is people that are between the specific ages. This is the primal market right here, guys. Okay. The prime market, okay, prime time, premier, preferred. The premium market is 25 to 45 years old. So write that down 25 to 45 years old. Okay. That's the premium right there. That's the perfect market. Children, these are people these are people that have young kids. So they have young kids like under the age of 15, okay? Not young kids like under the age of 40. No, 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 no. All right. So young kids, the better. Why? Because if they have young kids, they still have dependents. And if they have dependents, guess what? They need life insurance. They need that life insurance. Um, the next one, the H. So by the way, C stands for children in macho. H stands for homeowner. Okay. So so that's another point. If they're homeowners, if they have a mortgage, then boom, that's another point. Okay. If they rent, that's okay, but that's not a point. Okay. You wanna have 5 points. We call them 5 pointers. One for M for married, 1 point. A for age group, another point. C for children, another point. H for homeowners, another point. And O for occupation, which is people that they got to have a full-time job to be able to pay the bills, right? Now, if they if they have a job, perfect. But what if they have not just any job? Preferably, so this is where you take notes right here. Preferably, you want to sit down with people that are professionals, okay? Like firefighters, managers, business owners, teachers, people that have a professional job, right? If they have kind of like not a professional job, like whatever housekeeping. If they're the owner of the housekeeping business, then yes. But if they're the employees of the housekeeper, then they're just workers. You know what I mean? Those people, they make less money, so you're probably gonna have a harder time. You're gonna be getting the objection of I want to think about it. Okay, but if you sit down with professionals, they got money, and most likely they're spending it on things that are way, way less important than a life insurance policy. Does that make sense, guys? So you want to sit down with people like that, and that's who you meet with when you're. That's how you get properly trained. Okay, so this we're talking about getting trained properly. Okay, so number two, your license. Okay, if you haven't gotten your life insurance license, guys, you need to get it. Okay, make sure you talk to your trainer. If you're in Johnny and Jackie's base shop, make sure that you connect with them and they know what they're doing. And if you're in my base shop, then you gotta hit me up. Okay, we gotta get you licensed. We gotta get you scheduled. We gotta get you on a game plan to get your license. All of you guys that are not licensed, you gotta get licensed. Okay, so attack. Number two is a person isn't anchoring into the business until he or she becomes a crusader for term insurance and made sales. Crusader for term insurance. What does that mean? Okay. This is also something really important because you got to understand the crusade of our business, guys. We are not just the insurance company that sells insurance. We're not just a bunch of sales agents that sells insurance. No, we are a company that helps people correct an injustice in the life insurance business. We teach people how money works. It's a huge crusade of how we help families, guys. And there's a big need for that. A lot of people have been taken advantage of, have been screwed over, tattooed by the insurance industry. They've been, here, I'm going to show you so you could see. It's much better if I show you, right? So you could see our crusade, guys. Look at this. See where you at, right there. Okay, you see that? Look at this, guys. This is, where is it at? Right there. Continue and save. Okay, this is how we help families. Look at this. This is our crusade. Okay, if you never heard of that before, we have a cause. We have a crusade. We're a cause-driven business. Okay, where is it at? Right there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'll do this. Okay, sorry about that. Technical little issues here. Okay, check this out. Look at this. This is our crusade. Our company started in 1977 because our company was started because a guy, his name is Art Williams, got screwed over. His parents got screwed over, and when his dad died, he saw his mom struggle financially because she got too little of the wrong kind of life insurance. And when he grew up, he found out about that his parents got screwed over. So he started a company to correct that injustice. And it just turns out that that industry, the company that he started was in the biggest industry on planet Earth, the life insurance industry. And this is what they sell. They sell cash value life insurance, insurance and savings bundled together. Um, so here's an example. This is a husband and a wife. They got both $150,000 in coverage, paying $295 a month. And the way it works is that if they keep making that monthly payment, they're gonna have at age 65 $106,000, $106,200 for their cash value, like for retirement or whatever, right? But the problem is that that's a big ripoff, especially if you pass your life insurance exam, you realize, oh my goodness, this is a huge ripoff, right? Because in the first 5 years, there's a thing called a surrender charge this is something you learn when you're taking the test. A surrender charge eats up your cash value, and therefore there's no savings in the first 5 years. There's no savings in the first 5 years. How would you like to be How would you like to be putting your money in a place that after 3 or 5 years, you ask, hey, what's my balance? And they say zero. Sorry, you don't have nothing. And you're like, what? What do you mean I have zero? What happened to my money? And he goes, well, sir, this is a long-term investment. And in the early years, there's a thing called a surrender charge, and you can't have the money. Would you put your money in a place that in the first 5 years you got nothing, guys? Of course not, right? So that's a ripoff. So Primerica was started to correct an injustice, the ripoff. Number two rule is that that you lose your savings if you die. So for example, if the husband dies, Mary gets $150,000, but guess what happens to the cash value? She loses it, right? Some of you guys studying for your life insurance exam, it's called level death benefit. Level death benefit. That means that even if they have a lot of life insurance, I mean, if a lot of cash value, they're going to lose it. Okay. Because the company only pays the coverage, which is the level death benefit, no matter how much life insurance they have. What a ripoff, right? And that's how Primerica started, with correcting that injustice. Not to mention, if you want to borrow your own money, it's crazy how they like straight up tell you scandalously that you could borrow your own money, and people are okay with it. It's crazy. They're not hearing themselves, right? The company allows you to borrow your own money. That's crazy. Think about that, right? For a company to say, we're going to allow you to borrow your own money. They literally say that, guys. It's crazy. So that's a huge ripoff. Why would anybody allow any bank to lend you your own money and charge you interest on your own money? Crazy. So that's how this company started, right? This company started with correcting that injustice and giving them a better product, which is buy term invest the difference. There's two separate accounts. We teach people to not bundle them together like the left side, but separate them and get, so the 295, we're going to use $84 to buy life insurance and $211 to buy a Roth IRA. And the Roth IRA at age 65 is gonna grow to 438,700. So look at this. So if the client dies prematurely, the beneficiary gets $300,000 plus whatever the savings balance is. Okay. Versus that's the right side, right? The left side, you only get what? $150,000. So that's how this company started. You got to become a crusader about this. You're not just selling life insurance, guys. You're literally correcting an injustice. And there's a bunch of cash value life insurance products out there that are being sold to families. And you probably have at least a dozen uncles, cousins, relatives that have cash value life insurance. You just got to talk to them. You got to book appointments. You got to schedule meetings. You got to be active because they're getting screwed over. Look at this. So with us, they're gonna have 300,000 versus 150,000. Is that like, are you saving them like $10 a month? Are you saving them like like $10,000? Guys, you're literally putting hundreds of thousands of dollars back into the family's pocket. That's how powerful Primerica is. That's how powerful this business is. It's about correcting an injustice. And now, what if they live? If the client lives till retirement, he's going to have $438,000 tax free because that is what happens in a 401k. I mean, I'm sorry, in a Roth IRA. Now, here's the cool thing about this, guys, is that when I first saw this for the first time, the thing that went through my mind is the common sense thing is maybe I should have life insurance and a retirement plan. So I did. I started a $50 a month. Excuse me, it was $38 a month on life insurance and $50 a month on my Roth IRA. Okay. So that's what I did because I didn't want nobody to ask me, hey, do you have it? Are you practicing what you preach? I didn't want to be a hypocrite. So I got it. Okay. That was my common sense. Maybe, maybe that's, and I'm not even that like common sense. Actually, I'm too technical, less common sense, but that made sense. I needed to have it. So I got it. And ever since then, I've had a Roth IRA since I was 23 years old. But I've learned that now I could open up a Roth IRA for my daughters, guys. Did you know that you could open up a Roth IRA for your little kids? I don't know if you knew that. You should do that, by the way. And it's really important that you figure out how to do that. We'll teach you how to do that. Just talk to your RVP and we'll show you how to do that. And you should, because you're building this business is to build generational wealth for you and your family. Right. So, and at the same time, help others build generational wealth for them with the right products, because buy term invest the difference kills cash value life insurance. Not 90% of the time, not 95% of the time, but 100% of the time, the right side beats the left side all the time, guys. Okay. So it's not just term insurance, it's term and invest the difference. Here's another thing to understand, that if you have a client that, oops, sorry about that. What happened here? That's weird. If you have a client that has oh man, how can I do it? Okay, I'll just do it like this. How about that? Okay. If you have a client, that just got life insurance, you need to go back to them with a financial guy in our office to open up their retirement plan, because life insurance by itself is no good. The plan is that if they die too soon, they get money. But what if they live to retirement? They're not going to get nothing. You see what I mean? So they should have a retirement plan as well. Now, if they don't have to have it with us, it's better if they have it with us. But if let's say they have a 401k at their job, then good. They're investing the difference. You see what I mean? They're investing the difference. So, all right. So let's see if there's any questions, just put it on the chat. Okay. That way I don't have to stop and say, do you guys have any questions? You just put it on the chat and I'll answer your questions. Okay. By the way, this training is being recorded, is being posted on YouTube, so you can watch the replay later on. Okay, so that's important, and this is how it works, guys. This is what we do for families. Buy term insurance. Okay, so if you're selling cash, if the people that are selling cash value, they're basically getting bigger commissions. That's why they love to sell it. Really, they have no integrity, really, because they know they're taking advantage of people. And they could sell them term insurance. Their company sells term insurance and investments, but they don't, because term insurance pays less commission than cash value. So they really do it for the commissions, the money that they make on a cash value policy, and but they're taking advantage of people. The reason they get paid bigger commissions is because look, the payment here is what is it, 295 a month over here, and with us is 84. So obviously they're gonna make more commission selling cash value, but you're screwing the family over. See how that works, guys? So that's how our company started. It was a crusade correcting an injustice, and that's how you teach people how to become leaders. Okay, you help them, you teach them how to become leaders by developing them into the and by teaching them that what they're doing for families is good. It's a crusade. Okay, so number two, it says a new person really isn't anchored into the business until he or she has become a crusader for term insurance and basically it's investing the difference. Okay, so that's this is an old book right here, but you know the concept is has never changed, and things and humans are humans. You know what I mean? Number three is a new person is anchored into the business until he or she has recruited a new person. You see what I mean? So a recruit is not a recruit until he has a recruit. That's what three is talking about. So again, you're trained, you're licensed, you understand the crusade, that you're correcting an injustice and you're helping people. And then on top of that, you got your first recruit. You started recruiting a team. There is a big difference in just sign up someone and anchoring him into the business. So, guys, when you recruit somebody, what should you be doing right away? Getting them out in the field and teaching them how to get a license, showing him how they could invest the difference and become a crusader of what we do. Get them their own life insurance. By the way, if you don't have a life insurance policy, if you don't have a retirement plan, you should get it. Okay, you should get it. You should definitely practice what you preach, not just because of that, but also because you're building wealth for your family. You should have your own financial plan. You should have your own, you should get excited about building wealth. You should have your own little financial plan that you're building, even if it's little. It's okay. I started little too. Everybody, you got to start somewhere, right? Who cares if it's just 25 bucks a month, retirement, Roth IRA, or a $25 life insurance policy? Who cares? You starting your financial plan, or are you a procrastinator? Procrastinators, they say, I'll do it tomorrow. Do it now, guys. Do it now. Okay. So it's not just about getting somebody signed up. It's about helping them get those three. Someone and anchoring him into the business. Anyone can do number one, and a lot of people can do one and two. But the person who is serious about about a business opportunity, and the person who can consider part of your building effort is someone who has done all three. They a new recruit and his new recruit. Okay. So how many recruits do you have? I want to ask you that. Write this question down. How many recruits do you have for in your business? How many recruits do you have in your organization? Okay. How many recruits have you gotten lately? Okay. Now, do recruits stick around? Okay. No, because most people don't stick around going to school. Most people don't stick around going to the gym. Most people don't stick around going to church. Most people don't stick around when, they drop out of college, they drop out of high school, they drop out of the military. People just drop out. It's easy to quit. It's normal to quit. What you want to do is be abnormal. Stay the course. Find people that are not quitters. Most people are quitters. That's why you're gonna see that you're gonna recruit people and people are gonna quit. That's just normal. Okay, the average person doesn't know nothing about commitment, doesn't know nothing about integrity, doesn't know nothing about discipline. Very few know that, and very few are willing to stick around to learn it. And you're finding those people that are willing to stick around and learn it, like me. When I started, I didn't know nothing about insurance and investments and financial products. This is me. You ready for this? This is who I was right here. I'm gonna show you a picture of me when I started Primerica. I was just a high school teacher, guys. I didn't know nothing about insurance or investments. I just wanted to here it is right there. You see that? That's me right there. I was a high school teacher. I was a lot skinnier than that. Okay, that's my AI uh, picture of me teaching students. That was me, guys, right there. See that? I was broke in that picture, in that age, when I was 21 years old. I was broke, paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, couldn't save $1,000. I had student loan debt, and no, if you were a girl, you wouldn't want to marry me once you found out all those things. Okay, so that means I was on track to never get married. You know what I mean? But things changed. Obviously, I found a great wife and a business because my mindset changed. My belief system changed. I didn't have no belief. I didn't have no leadership skills. I was terrified speaking in front of people. It took me a while to get good at speaking in front of students. Guys, I've always had that stigma, that you know um that insecurity, that it's like it's yeah, it's an insecurity. I'm still very insecure talking in front of people. You could probably not tell now, but when my wife told me, all right, you're doing training today, I was like, oh man, what am I going to talk about? I still have that complex. Okay. And so if I can do it, so can you guys. That's how I started. I was I was a nobody. I was this kid right here. You see that? That's when I started. That's a picture of me. I was still a teacher back then. I had not quit my job as a high school teacher in this picture. This was in 2002 right here. 2002. Crazy, right? So that's how I started. But just because I started like that doesn't mean just because you started like that doesn't mean you're supposed to stay like that. And so you have to stay the course, stay committed, be kind of stubborn, be kind of like hardhead, be kind of stubborn is really the word. Be stubborn at your goals and dreams. Be stubborn at figuring this thing out. Be stubborn at, what, I might suck right now, but I'm gonna get better. Trust me, I'm gonna get better. I just gotta keep trying. I gotta keep failing. I gotta keep improving. I gotta keep booking appointments. I gotta keep getting in front of somebody and giving it a shot, and let's see what happens. I gotta keep building up my courage. I gotta keep, getting better little by little. I gotta keep trying. It's about trying, right? First, before you're great, you got to be good. Before you're good, you're going to be bad. And before you're bad, you got to try. You got to keep trying. Does that make sense, guys? All right, so let's check out the questions here. It says, what if you had a 401k from a previous job but never looked into it again? Okay, good. So you have to, in regards to a 401k, if you have a 401k, you have to check to see who was your 401k provider. Maybe you got a statement laying around somewhere, and you see the logo of the company. Let's say it's John Hancock or Merrill Lynch or Fidelity or whatever. Then we just have to give them a call, give them your social security number, and find out if they still have your money. They might have been sent somewhere else. It might have been sent to another company, but they'll tell you. You just keep got to keep making phone calls and tracking it. If you don't know the name of the company or have a statement laying around, you know what you do? You got to call the company that you work for at that time and ask them, "Hey, on the year 2018, who was your 401k provider back then?" And they're going to tell you, and you're going to call that company and get your social and get your 401k. And then what you do is you roll it over into a traditional IRA. You roll it over, okay? Write that word down. You roll it over into a traditional IRA, with Primerica, obviously, right? Call your RVP, whoever's securities license in your business. In this case, I'm securities license, okay? So that I could help you roll it over and start. And then you do a backdoor Roth IRA, guys. What you do is you convert that traditional money into a Roth IRA so that you could convert it into a tax-free account, and then you don't pay taxes later on in the future. Okay, good question. Yeah, check your old emails. You should have statements on your old emails. Yeah, so all that stuff is good. So let's go back to this, okay? Why am I talking about this recruiting thing, okay? Because guys, that's the only way to get freedom, okay? The only way you're going to have freedom is by building a business that pays you whether you're there or not. passive income. Okay. So there's two ways to do that. Okay. So I'm just flowing here. Okay. There's two ways to have freedom. Either money, write this down. Okay. Two ways to have freedom. Either money at work or people at work. Right? Write it down. That's a gold bar right there. Okay. How do you have freedom? Money at work, people at work. Okay. You know what's beautiful? The beauty of our business and our industry is that here in Primerica, you're literally doing both. You're literally building a team of leaders, and you're literally building a business that pays you with with money at work. You're putting money to work through the investments. Okay. Investments is your investments. Your money's growing. Like right now, my money's growing. As we speak right now, my money's working. Where 85% of the time it grows. Sometimes there's a little decrease. Like right now, there's a little decrease. I have, like, for example, I have some of my money on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went from 125,000, right now is like at 67 or whatever thousand, right? So it went down. So sometimes it goes down, but I only have a piece of my money there. I have money that's diversified, so that if I go down there, that's okay. I go up here. You see what I mean? So I have mutual funds, I have Roth IRAs, I have different type of accounts. I also have assets under management. That's another way, right? Assets under management is I help through this industry, I help other people invest their money, and I get a little tiny little percentage of the whole assets under management that I have saved for clients. Does that make sense, guys? Money at work. People at work is that's where you build teams. You're a builder. You're always developing leaders. You're a magnet, right? You find people, you attract people, you retain people, you move people, right? You're the type of person that is always, that is like you have like a pastor's heart. You're always looking for the next person that you could help, that you could develop them, you could train them like they train me, you know? If it wasn't for Michael Pyatt, again, giving him big props, man, is that if it wasn't for this guy right here, right? Where is it at? I'll show you right now. This guy right here. See this guy right here? Michael Pyatt, my coach, my mentor. This guy, man, he helped me out so much, guys, and he still helps me out a lot, right? And that's how you build a business that pays you, which is people at work. It says making money off the efforts of others. The other day I used this phrase right here, and some people don't like the sound of it, right? It sounds kind of derogatory. It sounds kind of like, you're taking advantage of people, um, making money off the efforts of others. Here's the thing, guys, okay? You're either gonna build your business or you're gonna build somebody else's business. There's no other way. Okay? If you have a job, if you have a job, somebody's making money off your efforts. Period. Okay? So if you have a business, then now you're making money off the efforts of others. And period. That's just how it is. What other nicer way is there to put it? You see that? Like Michael Pyatt, he me and him have a great relationship, but my business pays him. Check it out, guys. My business, our whole organization, including what you do, your efforts, everybody's effort, my efforts, Johnny's efforts, Sergio and Diana's efforts, all of our organization, Mr. Michael Pyatt, he makes money from all of our efforts. He makes money. He makes about 30 to 40,000 a month from our organization alone. Did you hear that? And what does he do for that? He did a lot, but what does he do right now for it? Zero, nothing. He makes money off the efforts of others. See that? That's what overrides is. That's how you build a business, by recruiting, training, and developing, so that you could make money off the efforts of others. Okay. So you either make money off the efforts of others, or somebody's making money off the efforts of you. Okay. There's no other. That's the system we live in. That's called capitalism, free enterprise. It's the greatest, system on planet Earth. Okay. Because that's how you could build something for your family and then help others. Right. You got to get wealthy, because is not just about taking care of you and yours. It's about making so much money that you could take care of you and yours and other charitable causes, churches, orphans, different events. You could be like the number one giver at your church, the number one tither at your church. You could donate to missionary, things over there in Africa or South America. You could do so many things by building a business that pays you whether you're there or not. Look, here's it is. Right here it says, Gary Cornegay says, I will not accept a check until you get paid. That's what building a business does. Michael Pyatt is a builder. He built a business so that he could get paid for not only him, but when he dies, his kids are going to get paid, whether he's there or not. Okay. Sam Walton, the guy that started Walmart, that's how we did it. He had the same mindset. See, this is just the builder's mindset. It's not negative. It's not like it sounds selfish. It sounds like you're taking advantage of people. No, they're just taking advantage of capitalizing on the system that we have. And Primerica is that system. Walmart, all these businesses is the system. Look at this. Two things you need to do to win in business. Number one, serve middle America. And number two, multiply yourself so that you could be in multiple times at multiple places at the same time. That's a typo right there, right? So you see that? Two things you need to do to win in business. Okay. Number one, serve middle America. What does Primerica do? Exactly that. And number two, multiply yourself. How do we do that? Through recruiting. Multiply yourself through recruiting so that you could be in multiple places at the same time. Powerful, man. That is so powerful. You see that? You could, like right now, we have an agent in South Dakota. We have agents in Chicago, Illinois. We have agents all across the country. We're national, right? We're international. So we make money in all states, even though I've never been to South Dakota, but we have agents in South Dakota. And when they do a sale, we get a piece of the pie. Beautiful. What a system, right? That's called free enterprise, baby. Okay, so we're multiply ourselves so we could be in multiple places. South Dakota, you could be in multiple places, Illinois, Florida at the same time. Okay, John D. Rockefeller, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people rather than 100% of my own efforts. Okay, this right here is overrides or building a business. And this right here is sales. Guess what? This is John D. Rockefeller. I don't know if you know who it is. Google him, right? He said to make money from other people's efforts, which is that highlighted part, and your efforts. In Primerica, you could do both. You could do sales and recruit at the same time. Beautiful. We're talking about wealth here, guys. All right. We're not talking about being poor, broke, paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, busted, disgusted, tore from the floor. We're not talking about that. We're talking about building wealth. Okay. If you are planning 1 year, grow rice. If you're planning 10 years, grow trees. And if you're planning for 100 years, grow people. Last but not least, follow your dreams, or you will spend the rest of your life working for somebody who did. All right. Somebody who did. Somebody has to be you. Right? If you don't follow your dreams, a lot of people give up on their dreams, guys. A lot of people give up on their dreams. If you don't follow your dreams, then you're going to work for somebody that didn't give up on their dreams. Okay. So let's finish up the training here. We're coming to an end. Okay. A leg is not a leg until it's 4 deep. Not now. Let's assume that you have a for real person. He's taken each of the three necessary steps. Do you have it made? No. What if your good person drops out? If that happens early, the team people he brought into the business may leave also. They've lost the main bond that they had to the business. If you truly want to build a team, each person you hire should hire at least 4 people. The law of averages says that at least one of those people will remain serious, committed person. Building 4 deep also creates excitement for your good person. It motivates him to want to stick with it. All of a sudden, he has a team. He says, man, my team is growing. See that, guys? So there it is, right? A team will have a life of its own once you find a leader. Building your business by developing teams that are four deep will create solid business. Recruiting and training. Wide is building by addition. Recruiting and training deep is building by multiplication. But identifying one leader in each team will enable you to harness the power of geometric progression. Your leader in that leg will continue to recruit and train and develop teams while you build in other areas or other legs. The leader ensures that his team will have a life of its own until you have developed at least one leader in each leg and at least once. You're really not going to have any strength. The super taproot, and this is where it becomes crazy, okay? The super taproot is a system for maximizing the concept of replacement. You already know that in order to be promoted, a person must replace himself or herself with one team or in his or her organization to become signed directly to his upline manager. By working temporarily in depth, you can build permanent width as you received a replacement team for each new leader you promote. You can target yourself for a healthy replacement by helping your team, your direct recruits to build deep. Let's assume you interest five or six people in your business. The law of averages says that one of those recruits will be what I call a fireball. This is someone who's urgent and who's intense. Fireballs have a lot of people he knows and wants to talk to. As you train a fireball, you help him or her interest five or six new people. You find that person A is one of his fireballs. You see that A right here? One of his fireballs. Okay. You should begin working with that person A to help him in the business. And so you as a leader, you're literally helping build legs underneath the fireball. And that's how you do it, guys. Anyways, you got to read this book too, because this book has a lot of content, a lot of great knowledge that is going to help you build your business. And guys, it starts with building a team, recruiting. Okay, whenever you hear me train, okay, what should I train on? You know what I'm gonna train on, guys? I'm gonna train on recruiting because that's what pays me the income. I have 400. We just crossed over 493 agents as of yesterday. By the end of this month, we're gonna have 500 agents. You know why I make the type of money that I make? Last month, I made $39,000. Why? Because I have 493 agents. It's that simple. It's not because I'm that good. Honestly, if you get to know me, I'm pretty clumsy. I'm actually forget stuff like crazy, even worse now that I'm 47 years old. Um, um, you know, I don't know what I would do without my daughter Ruby and my wife. Okay, let's keep it like that. And George, by the way, shout out to George. Sometimes he messes up, but man, he's such a great help for me and my family as well. And guys, I need that help. I'm still very introverted. I still don't like to be asked to speak. When they ask us to speak, I guess we bring value to the table. We have a lot of years of experience, but I still get very anxious when they ask me to speak. Okay, I'm not like this, like, wow, these people that maybe you admire, and those people probably have they do have their own insecurities and doubts and fears and complexes. So why do I make that type of money then? Well, you know why, guys? Because I have 493 agents. That's it. If you had 493 agents, you'd be making 30, 40, 50,000 a month. Okay? Is that simple. And by then, you would be a great leader. So you would be able to expand it even more, maybe grow it. Maybe you would be even doing, maybe you would be making more money than me because by then you would be a better leader, probably than me. We have great leaders in our organization that are better than me for sure. So how did that start? Just remember like how Jesus did it. Jesus started with 12 disciples, and then one of his disciples recruited 5,000 people, after Jesus died, and he baptized 5,000. So Jesus recruited 12, one of them backstabbed him, right? And another one became a fireball, and he recruited 5,000 after Jesus died in Acts, in the book of Acts. Check it out. It's all about recruiting, guys. Everybody's recruiting the next generation of leaders. And the question is, are you recruiting the next generation of leaders? Amazon is doing it. Are you doing it? Walmart is doing it. Are you doing it? Apple's doing it. Are you doing it? Okay. Michael Kors is doing it. Are you doing it? I'm looking at all the brands I have here in my desk here. You know, Members Mark is doing it. Are you doing it? Everybody's recruiting the next generation of leaders, right? This company called Electrolytes is doing it. Are you doing it? Right? You know, Callaway is doing it. Are you doing it? Ferrari's doing it. Are you doing it? Right? Tapatio is always recruiting. Okay. Tapatio is recruiting the next generation. It zoomed into his face. This is recruiting the next generation of leaders. Are you doing it? Okay. Get the point? We got to recruit. Let's recruit. Let's build a team. Let's go. Let's get big and let's build wealth for our families. God bless you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's training and learned something new and got that mindset. Okay. If you're thinking of somebody, I'm thinking of somebody that I would like to recruit. Give that name and number to your trainer. Give that name and number to your RVP and watch them and put them to work. Put them to work. They'll recruit for you. They'll build you a team. They work for you. You don't work for them. They work for you. I work for you. You don't work for me. I work for you. That's how this business works. Let's make it happen. All right, guys. God bless you guys. You know what? I'm going to open it up. If you have any questions, I'm going to open it up right now. Okay. Is this being recorded? Yup. This is being recorded. I'm going to post it up on Telegram right now. All right, let me see. Super entretenimiento. Gracias, señor Raúl. De nada, Yolandita. Any questions? You could open. Wait a minute. You can't unmute yourselves, huh? Let me see. There it is. Okay, you could unmute yourself now, guys. Any questions? Maybe, maybe not. Going once. Huge shout out to Beverly. Beverly, you passed your life insurance exam this week, a few days ago. Man, that's awesome. Congratulations, champ. Super proud of you. Maria G. All right, guys. God bless you guys. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Raul, I had a question.
I'll go for it, Phil. Talk to me.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure, like for the training and everything, just if we can, that I can stay connected and everything, so I don't miss any messages or any trainings whatsoever, because I know I kind of fell off that.
Yeah, I was having trouble with my phone, but you know what? Telegram is always active. Okay. So
Okay.
turn on notifications on Telegram. We
Okay.
always post on Telegram when a meeting's about to start. Bam, the notification should be firing up right there. Good point. What I'm gonna do right now on Telegram, if you're not part of Telegram, make sure you add your tell your trainer to add you to Telegram. But what I'm gonna do right now is post up all the trainings that we have throughout the week. The most important training for all of us, guys, is you know what, I totally forgot to mention this is Friday night trainings at 7 p.m. But this Saturday we have Super Saturday. Super Saturday is this Saturday. Make sure you're inviting people. It's Saturday at 5 p.m. Okay. This Saturday is Super Saturday. We need to stay plugged into that. Okay. I'm gonna post it up on Telegram. Stay plugged in. And that's that. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Let's go. There it is. Bam. There's the trainings. All right, guys. Take care.